Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. We start tonight with the shooting outside Cleveland High School. Students went into lockdown, many unsure if the shots they heard came from inside or outside their school.
And tonight, as authorities investigate the gunfire that left one teenager injured, students who were steps away from the violence and their families are dealing with a difficult reality. Catherine Cook reports.
Outside Cleveland High School Monday, you could hear it in their voices.
You okay, love?
Relief wrapped in fear after a 16-year-old student was shot outside their school. It happened around 12:30 when most students were in class.
PA came on, lights turned off, lockdown, nobody allowed to leave. It was just wild.
It's very scary. It's very stressful.
Police say the student who was shot sustained non-life-threatening injuries and walked themselves into a hospital for treatment.
And it was tense when I first arrived, and police cars were scrambling all around the school.
After the shooting, Robert Kobus got a text message from his son and got to the school as quickly as he could.
All he texted me was that I heard noises, we're now on lockdown, they've locked the doors in the classrooms, we're under our desks, and I'm really scared.
It's very tragic and scary that stuff's happening pretty consistently.
Evidence markers show where police found shell casings partially on school grounds. Witnesses reported seeing two vehicles that may have been involved in the shooting, but they were both gone before officers arrived.
It's frustrating, it's disheartening, it's exhausting.
Parents wonder out loud what can be done, and they wonder what they'll do, yet again, to make their kids feel safe.
I think people who are so against any sort of gun reform, you need to feel what happens inside these classrooms. You need to feel what happens when these kids are trying to go to bed at night. You need to feel what happens as a parent.
In light of the shooting, district officials say there will be no classes for Cleveland High School students on Tuesday. Instead, staff and teachers will meet to plan how they'll support students when they return to class. In the meantime, the Portland Police Bureau is investigating this case, and they're asking anyone with information on what happened to phone that in to their non-emergency line. In Southeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
We have a second difficult story to tell you about tonight, with neighbors still in disbelief after what police are calling a murder-suicide left three men dead in a Southeast Portland home. This happened off Southeast Main on 163rd just before 7 Sunday night. Police initially brought in the SWAT team to search for an armed suspect, but now say there are no outstanding suspects. One neighbor who asked not to be identified heard the gunshots. Authorities say a fourth person, a woman, survived, knocked on doors for help, and was eventually taken to the hospital.
And she was pretty wounded, so I mean, it left not a very good scene there on her front door. Ultimately, one of the neighbors over there did help call the police and kind of kept her, safe until everybody got here.
No word yet on the connection between the shooter and the victims, and not including those deaths which remain under investigation. Portland has already seen 95 homicides this year, surpassing last year's record. An important reminder tonight: if you or someone you know needs help, you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline anytime. That number is relatively new. It is easy to remember. Just dial or text 988 for support.
Portland police are looking for a suspect tonight in another murder. They say 43-year-old Jose Caraballo killed his girlfriend, 27-year-old Catherine Mulbach. Mulbach's body was discovered in Powell Butte Nature Park Friday. Police think Caraballo has left the Portland area. He has friends and family in Oregon, California, and Mexico. If you know where he might be, call police. Crime Stoppers is offering a $2,500 reward. Also developing right now, Portland police are looking for a driver involved in a deadly hit and run. This happened a little before 5 this evening on Southeast Division and 154th Avenue. Police said when they got there, they found a motorcyclist dead in the street. The driver, accused of hitting them, had fled the scene. We don't have a description yet of the suspect vehicle.
Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. One person is dead following a landslide Saturday morning near the Oregon-Idaho border. Now, according to the Adams County Sheriff's Office, the slide killed 39-year-old Stacy Keene from Tillamook. Keene was a contractor with Idaho Power who was part of a team that was working to secure a rock shelf. Deputies used boats to rescue the rest of the workers around that slide.
This will be disappointing news for a lot of local moviegoers. After a devastating fire, the owner of the Roseway Theater said it won't be reopening. You may remember a fire on August 6th destroyed the theater on Northeast Sandy Boulevard and 72nd Avenue. Owner Greg Wood said it would cost too much money to rebuild. He plans to give the marquee to a museum in the Dalles and give some of the stained glass to the Hollywood Theater. My family and I have seen a lot of movies there, as many of you have, and it's truly sad to see it go.
Sure is. And Oregon's election director has resigned, saying mis- and disinformation have made administering elections extremely challenging. Deborah Scroggin also cited uncertain funding. Now, Secretary of State Shamia Fagan told a House committee last week her office tracked 220 incidents of false information being spread this past year. She's now asking for lawmakers to fund 4 full-time election staffers. Right now, there's only 1.
We are learning more tonight about a man accused of trying to break into a home in Northwest Portland by smashing the front door. You can hear it there. It turns out he'd been arrested and released from jail just a few days earlier after allegedly attacking a woman downtown. A man was caught on camera smashing the glass window of a family's front door last Thursday. He used a post from their wrought iron fence as a weapon. 18-year-old Joseph Ibrahim was later arrested. Court records suggest Ibrahim, who is listed as homeless, admitted to police he'd been smoking methamphetamine. We also learned he'd been arrested and released from jail on December 2nd after he allegedly hit a woman in the back of the head in downtown Portland.
So this was not a random, let's bop her on the head and keep on going, we're having fun. He wanted to hurt me. And I consider myself lucky to be here today.
Following that alleged attack, he was released from jail after just a few days. That's because at the time he had no criminal history and he was charged with misdemeanors.
Oregon's new governor-elect will be sworn in just 4 weeks' time. And today, Tina Kotek gave her first formal remarks since the election. Now, during her keynote at the Oregon Leadership Summit in Portland, she touched on beefing up accountability and oversight of state government and also encouraging more partnerships with the private sector. And then she outlined her biggest priorities moving forward. Those include improving education and access to mental health and addiction treatment, though her number one issue is housing and homelessness in the Rose City.
Our entire state benefits when Portland is healthy and economically thriving. The metro region is facing serious challenges, and I will not be hands-off while local families and businesses struggle. As governor, I will make sure that we are communicating, collaborating, and getting real about solutions that will make Portlanders proud.
Now, Kotek also announced she plans to visit every county in Oregon during her first year as governor to hold listening sessions and to build relationships.
Portland city officials say safety improvements are coming to a stretch of Northeast Killingsworth in the Cully neighborhood. Peabody engineers are working on the designs right now and say they hope to start construction in 2024. So let's show you what they're planning. This is a diagram of that section of Killingsworth, and you have the sidewalk there, then a parking lane, then a bike lane, and moving traffic right next to the bikes. So the city's idea is to move the bike lane next to the sidewalk and then create a buffer between the bikes and parked cars. This would be in the area between Northeast 53rd and Cully Boulevard. Officials say they're also planning other changes like improved crossings for pedestrians.